We're back in the warehouse. What a man. What a man. I had too much coffee today. Fuck does that guy do that? We are back to the warehouse for Blitzball Battle 7. Tyler Poof has shown up. Let's talk Blitzball. Welcome to Blitzball Boys, the podcast about Blitzball and boys, but lately about men. I'm your co-host, Brendan Ruppel, along with my fellow host, Peter Del Rey. Moment of silence. Silence over. I've got things to do today. Gotta move it on quickly. The Jolly Olives will have to play the winner of Whack versus Woogas to get into the playoffs. How do we think that's gonna go, fellas, lady fellas? We'll talk about what might be the better matchup later in the show when we do our preview, but for now, obviously, not a great situation. But we have heard Drew on this very program talk about how he doesn't fully mind having to do that play-in game because if you win it, you kind of grease the wheels a little bit for that day. You play the play-in game first, whatever day that may be. Say they recorded it on a Saturday. You play Saturday morning. If you win, you get to play your playoff game that same day. So he said you rarely, if you didn't tune into his episode, go check it out. I think it was the previous one. Gives you a little bit of insight into the recording schedule and how they do those games. But you rarely play a game on the same day, or two games on the same day. The one scenario where you would is if you have to do that play-in game. So he feels like if you do win it, could be beneficial. We'll see what they end up doing. It obviously depends on the matchup. I think they might have a better chance against Whack. But who knows? To talk like a Ganales fan right now, because Drew does help out with this podcast and does a great job. Thank you very much, Drew, if you're listening. We love you. But the Olives didn't play badly. They did lose. They lost only 1-0. Granted, Forgotten Rotten didn't have to hit again. But still. He mentioned it in the post-game. They got warehoused a little bit. One of his hardest hit balls got caught by Trev. Then he catches like an unfortunate one off the sidewall. He makes a great play on that one. I'll talk about all that stuff later on, too. But, yeah, I don't think they played horribly. Jolly finally gets his hit. He started to see Trevor a little bit the more he saw him. I'm wondering why they didn't throw Shelfie in there at all. I guess Trevor just really feels good. I would have liked to have gotten reps if I was Shelfie, and if I was Trevor, I would have wanted to get my guy reps for the future. So I'm interested in why that didn't go down. I'm sure they have the reasons. Maybe Shelfie feels like he could show up in the playoffs out of nowhere and be crisp. Maybe he starts one of the playoff games and sees if he can steal some outs, and then Trevor is warm. And spoiler alert, looks really good on the mound. I didn't think he looked that bad on the mound in this first game where he got hit a little bit. This game looks crisp. I think he has a good idea right now of what works well. You can just see it. You see him pitching with conviction and is reading batters' swings on balls. It's really, really good stuff. It's impressive. Shelfie goes 0-4. Is that a storyline? I don't know. He said it in the postgame too that he could hopefully just show up in the playoffs. We'll see how that goes. Jolly ends his 0-4. That's good. Let's get into the burn, shall we? Jolly Olives versus Forgotten Rotten to see who gets kicked to the play-in match. Trev pitching again this game as the Olives go down 1, Drew 3. He leads off at the plate in the bottom of the first, and Tyler Poof makes this one disappear to deep center field for a solo shot. Trevor is on Fieri. Back on the mound to close it out, the Olives get some traffic on the bases. They just need one to tie it, but it doesn't matter what Jolly and Drew do. Trevor's hands are made of glue. 2 huge catches by Forgotten Rotten's leader to end the game as they take the win 1-0. Yeah, another quick one. One of those games where you can say maybe by runtime. If you're not watching it live, if you see the runtime, a little short, you assume the home team wins. I think this one was around like 39 minutes. I was like, oh, you know what? It's a low-scoring game. There's a chance that at least Rotten has to hit. Maybe they walk off. But no, they win. I wouldn't say easily or handedly, but they do not have to hit again. Trevor is the story in this game, obviously. He looks great when he starts on the mound. He looks very confident from his 3/4 slot down there. He's got a sinker working. And as soon as you're on the scent of that sinker, he hits you with that rising slider. Beautiful tunneling. I think that ball started to get more rise on it, too, as the game went on. Very, very impressive. He's pounding that zone. I think he only really walks people in the second inning because he's pitching around Drew a little bit, but he doesn't walk anyone in this inning. Strikes out 3. Maybe gets to a full count in this inning at some point, but that's really about it. He throws one singular over-the-top fastball to Jolly, and that ball had a chance to get out of here in a hurry. I think Jolly was just under it, maybe a little late. But it was an A-swing on that pitch, and I think Trevor recognized that and said to himself, you know what? No more of that. He hasn't touched the sinker yet, and he drops a nice high and away sinker. These are some of the pitches that you can't touch. The super high pitch that drops back down, and the low and away. We see later that if it's high and middle, it's a really nice pitch to hit. It's got to be those corners. The corners are huge. No one's really throwing the ball low. I feel like a lot of people are missing middle high, like belt high, just under the letters maybe. No one's really utilizing that bottom pipe as much as maybe like Jake uses it a lot. But if you're not going to go down there, I guess you got to go with the high stuff. But Trevor looks awesome. He looks confident. He's feeling confident. He's watched one of his taster videos. I get that. It works. It gives you confidence. It's a game where you need confidence. For the record, I think maybe Trevor has the slight edge, being the everyday player, in the who had a better career argument. I guess Peter had a longer career and more years under his belt, slightly lower WAR. I don't know how much people like WAR. I think Trevor's got like a 7.4 and Peter's got around a 6. It's pretty impressive to rack up WAR as a reliever. I don't know. I like this argument. Interesting that they have two players that like play for and work for warehouse games that are of similar caliber, just being two completely different positions. We go to the bottom of the first, and Drew looks good. Drew is really, really tinkering up there, especially when he's pitching to Trevor. Sure, we get that home run. That's a big home run. I believe he gets 2 strikes on him and throws that high sinker. And I think the only reason why this one gets hit for a home run is because Trevor is so tall and big and strong and can get on top of that ball pretty easily. It wasn't in enough. It wasn't out enough. It was definitely high. It might have hit top pipe, but it was middle enough where Trevor had seen that sinker enough. And I think when it does go high, it doesn't have as much of a downward break on it. It's got more of a break when it stays low or goes inside, like goes arm side. So I want to say that ball looked a little flat to Trevor and was able to get on top of that nice high sinker. Awesome swing. You see a lot of promising stuff from Trevor with the bat, especially in this game. We know what he could do with the ball on the mound. He's been doing it for years now, but Chris Rose says it later on in his post game with Trev. He has not hit a home run since BB4. Just kind of, it might have been against Drew. I know Drew in our last episode was talking about how they both have great career numbers against each other. He looks like he's really seeing Drew, and as Drew starts to pitch to him throughout that inning, he kind of sees like he figures he can't get that sinker past him because he hits a double off Drew a little bit later. Then he starts experimenting with the knuckle drop. He has a really good knuckle drop against Trev a little bit later in this inning. Almost like jackass. It starts above the zone, drops right in there, and it just falls right off the shelf. Really cool. You see a couple other attempts, and that was the one that I think he starts to feel that pitch. I wonder if he takes that with him into the playing game. Really awesome. He's got like he's got like an over-the-top sort of slider curveball that he hasn't landed yet, and it seems like he's having a hard time throwing it slowly too. The couple over-the-top curves, slurves that he did throw, I think were around like 71, 72, and missed way outside. But awesome break on those pitches. Didn't throw a ton of sidearm sliders. He ends up getting Trev to get out of this inning with like a 50-something mile per hour like changeup. I heard him at some point during this inning mention a splitter. Like, oh, that was a good splitter. That was a good splitter. Drew, if you're listening, let us know in the comments what that pitch was to strike out Trev to get out of the inning was. Was that a changeup? Was that one of your splitters you're talking about? It could have just been as simple as that, just like a slow fastball. I don't know. Regardless, the change of speeds just freezes Trev in his tracks because it hits top pipe, middle up there. Definitely something he could handle with it being as slow as it was, but sometimes that's all you need is a little bit of change of speed. And Shelfie, not doing anything this game, I guess at all, with the bat or in the field or on the mound. Doesn't come on the mound, doesn't have to make a play in the field. Trev does it all on both sides. So is one run going to be enough? The answer is yes, because Trevor makes that catch against Drew as he smashes the ball. You wonder where that ball goes. It's hard to tell from these camera angles if these balls that are hit hard are going straight up in the air. And sometimes with these blitz balls, when they do have backspin, even if you hit it hard, they do go straight up in the air. Like when me and my buddy Chris play, there's a lot of times where he thinks he has like a real hold of one. And I can stand straight on the mound. I stay right there, and the ball kind of lands right near me if he thinks he's got it. You have to kind of get on top of these balls or hit him for line drives for them to go far. But definitely got some wood on it. But awesome reaction time by Trevor to just put his paws up there and grab that one. Yeah, they get bases loaded. Jolly gets that hit. He walks through twice. They get 3 runners on. They just, they got 2 walks. So if he walked one more person, the Olives take the lead there, 2-1, with like a walk double, we'll call it. And he just gets that. For an old guy, he can move. He's still an athlete. There's that pop up off the wall. You don't think he's going to get to it, or you're kind of headed towards troubled territory over there by the wall, and he scurries over there, makes the catch just in time. Really fun way to end this game. It could have been broken wide open with that. That gives another chance to get another at bat and just see Trevor even more, because you're seeing that Jolly's starting to see him. Drew mentions it on the field that he's seen so many more of his pitches now that he could kind of recognize the sinker, recognize the rising slider a little bit. I think if that ball drops, not only do they get a run, but I think Trev is on his heels a little bit more now, a little bit less confident, and these guys have seen so much of him that maybe he goes to Shelfie? If not, I think the momentum would be now 100% in the Owls' favor. But he makes an awesome running catch to end the game. That's our ball game. Forgotten Rotten stays out of the loser's bracket, sends the Olives to that bracket. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? We'll find out after our Play the Game. Player of the game, obviously, Trevor Poof. He does it all. He has that home run. He has the double. He's hitting balls hard. It's really important. And against no slouch, like Drew, I think, did pitch better in this game than the last one. He's got more pitches working for him right now. He's locating really well. He's not all over the place like he can be in some tournaments. He hit good pitches today. And on the mound, he's as good as he's ever been. So both sides of the ball, and plus the 2 catches. But we'll get to that right now in our Play of the Game. Play of the game. It was going to be Trevor's big hit, because that won the game. It could have also been the tone-setting catch that was the off-the-ceiling ball that he made. But it's got to be the one that ends the game with bases loaded. It's just it's a great play in a huge moment. Literally ends the game. It is worth celebrating. It's very exciting. I love when Trev is good because his character cockiness is so funny to me. Some of the sort of bits that some of the characters in the warehouse do, they don't always land for me, but this is one of the ones that 100% always does. Like Trev he's put on such a good, keeps the word character, but that's what it is. He's putting on a character when he does. It comes from a place of realness, definitely inside somewhere, but he really is funny to me and entertaining when he just keeps asking Chris Rose, "What now?" Because he looks like such a douchebag. So when he's pretending to be a douchebag, it really plays well and earnest, and I just love it. I just love it. I just love a good heel. It's very funny. Him and K-Mac are two of the best at it. Makes me very happy. Great entertainment value by those two dudes. Let's get to our preview, shall we? It's Whack versus Woogas. These two are also 0-1 teams. One of these will be sent to face off against the Jolly Olives in the play-in match. Who has a better chance against, knowing what the matchup will be? I feel like Woogas, with their name recognition, with Jimmy Norp and Dan Rourke, who's supposed to come into this tournament and be a force. On paper, I think they should really win this game, first off. So I guess in turn they would have a better chance against Jolly Olives. So I don't know. There's a lot to think about here. I guess we'll start with the actual matchup itself. That makes more sense. Stupid. So stupid. Whack. What do they need to do to win? Well, Panic needs to keep hitting. And Dalton needs to... I think the bat will turn on for him a little more as we go along here, but it's important for him to be the ace that he's been in the past. When he had the Dalton season, the season of all seasons, he was very sharp. And his pitches looked a little flat last time. It was his first time out. We can't get to a place where Panic pitches. If Panic picks up the ball, we're in trouble. So Dalton needs to be an ace, and Panic needs to contribute again, because it was awesome that he was doing that. If you can get anything from that spot in the lineup, you're set up really well offensively for Whack. Woogas, on the other hand, I wonder who's going to start. Dan Rourke needs to pitch at some point in this game, just because if he doesn't, and the last taste of pitching in his mind was that blow up, he's going to go into the next game pitching feeling like, I can't do it here in the big stage. I can't do it here in Blitzball Battle. I can only do it in Captain's League. So you need to get that taste out of his mouth by throwing him here and hopefully giving him some success. If you can get a little bit of success in this game, even if they lose, that is huge for Dan Rourke and Woogas moving forward. Maybe you start Jimmy Norp just to be safe. We'll see. Maybe you get them both clean innings. Jimmy Norp in the first, Dan Rourke in the second, or vice versa. Maybe you get Dan Rourke in there early, get out clean, and then throw Jimmy Norp in. Because if he gets out clean, just leave it there so that he has that memory in his brain. We'll see what they do. I'm not super worried about Jimmy Norp hitting. Dan Rourke, it kind of comes in bunches for Dan Rourke. He hits weird ones. He has got that funny fly swatter swing. We'll see how that ends up working out for him. I'm never going to think he's never like a big bat for me, but he kind of comes in clutch every once in a while. And Jimmy Norp, I'm waiting for him to take over a game. That's what I'm really waiting for. So see how that goes. Yeah. And Woogas, I think, would kind of handedly beat Jolly Olives. I think the Olives have a good chance against Whack if they show up there, because at that point, Dalton should be tired. They don't have another person to pitch. We know from talking to Drew that his arm was fine the whole time and feels pretty good. So I don't know. Woogas is just such a powerhouse on paper that they should win this game, and if they lose it, I think they can't go 0-3, the Woogas in a tournament. So that's what to watch for. It's time for plugs. Thank you if you've been following along and listening and watching. Please subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already. Go to the Blitzball Boys YouTube channel. Thanks for everyone who comments a bunch. I appreciate the two. I gotta remember your names next time I do this, but appreciate the two of you. You know who you are, who comment a bunch and have a fun little discourse with us. Tell your friends. If you have friends that watch Warehouse Games, let them know. Please, it's been fun growing with you guys. I hope we can get to that 200 subscriber mark by the end of the season. It'd be huge. Listen wherever you get your podcasts. If you're on the road, if you can't always watch, it's fun to listen as well. Drink Subtle Tea. It's a drink made by me. You can find it at thesubtletea.com. Use code HAPPYBOYS for $2 off your order. That is my other podcast. We do a podcast about beer. You can listen to the Swifty Boys wherever you get your podcast. A podcast about Taylor Swift. And the Sandy Boys is our OC coverage podcast. That's on patreon.com/boysmedia. Thanks for it. It was a quick one. I am in a rush today, but also it was a quick game. 1-0 game in 1.5 innings. So don't be so mad at me. Let me know why you're mad at me in the comments. How about that? That'll probably get the most engagement we've ever gotten. Peter, you got anything you want to talk about? Nope. Well, bye-bye. Peace.